Well, I haven't made a rant video in a while, and I'm sure you know what that means, so if you don't like it, here's your chance to get out of here. And in order to make it more visually interesting, hopefully, here's some footage from a recent bike trip, first-person view. So, what I felt like venting about was couriers, like UPS and FedEx, which have irritated me to no end. I mean, I haven't received many packages delivered by couriers. Mostly I stay away from them, try to have people send it via postal service. And yes, the postal service has its issues too, but compared to UPS and FedEx, really not an issue whatsoever, at least in my experience. So let's start with a very, very minor thing, just kind of an amusing observation, really, and then I'll get to the more problematic stuff. First of all, their tracking info. I've noticed that the Postal Service, at least USPS and Canada Post, usually has a tendency of being a bit conservative on their estimate, meaning that they are usually faster than they say. Quite often I found that they delivered a day or maybe even several days earlier than the delivery estimate. Whereas couriers are the exact opposite. So far, they have not managed a single time to actually follow up on their delivery estimate. It's always at least one day afterwards. But yeah, again, that's very minor, just kind of amusing. What's not so amusing is that the drivers there are apparently, I don't know, either terribly incompetent or just outright lazy, and I suspect the latter. I remember one case where they were unable to find our address. Even though a mentally challenged hedgehog could find our frickin' address. People just find it, no problem. And in other cases, I had to constantly check the tracking information because they do not bother to leave a notification. There's one particular case where they made, I think it was even 4 delivery attempts. Supposedly, at a time where I know that I was home, and yeah, no notification, nothing. So if I hadn't checked the tracking information, if I hadn't had the tracking number, they would have probably sent it back eventually, and I would have never known. So yeah, basically, they leave it up to you to check if they do their job. Isn't that fantastic? But the worst thing by far is how much they rip people off for international shipments. I mean, you gotta be freaking kidding me. There's one particular case where I received a knife for review, which had a value of $20, and UPS charged $22.59 in fees upon delivery. Yeah, more than the damn thing is worth. I contacted them and asked them why the hell they charged me so much. And they gave me the price breakdown, and turned out that they charged $17.46 in brokerage fees. Yeah, brokerage fees. That translates to, we charged you that much because we felt like it. Because we are greedy. Just because they frickin' can. They just rip you right off. Whereas the Postal Service doesn't bother. For low amounts like that, they haven't charged me a single time. And even when they do charge, they keep it at a reasonable level. No ridiculous extra fees. Yeah, UPS and FedEx have both done that quite a bit. Every single time they charge ludicrous sums, which is just infuriating. So seriously, if you're sending anything to anyone else, in another country especially, stay away from the freaking couriers. Postal service is going to be better, trust me. Even if you've had negative experiences, I've seen people rant about Royal Mail, for instance. Even then, it can only be better than those suckers. By now, I'm just so fed up with them, or I guess I'm FedExed up. I'm just gonna do my best to avoid them like the plague, combined with typhus, dysentery, gonorrhea, gangrene, and hepatitis. Seriously. But at least it felt good to rant. So thanks for bearing with my outbreak here, and use frickin' Postal Service.